And action. Dumelang bana ba ko gae, dumelang batswadi, dumelang ko next door, dumelang ka mo ntlong, dumelang ko strateng, dumelang ko spaza, ko koning le ko taxing. Anywhere that you're watching us from, dumela to you. Thank you so much for taking your precious time to ensure that you open this lovely video. I promise you that today your time will definitely not be wasted. I hope, I pray, and I definitely say that this video will surely give you some valuable insight on what is occupational rent. All right, so just before we get into it, we're going to be doing a series of these videos just to help you understand more about the real estate industry, about property, about housing, and everything that pretty much has to do with real estate or property at large. I go by the name of Deborah Tamara, and I am the founder of Matamara Property. All right, so today we've compiled something, a little something just to help you understand what exactly is occupational rent. So don't mind me if you think that, hey, I'm not paying too much attention to you. I had to prepare a little something. I had to write a little script just to help you understand and just to make sure that I don't forget anything, because every little bit of information is definitely crucial. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, so I did mention at the start of the videos that please don't mind me. I'm going to be, checking out my script every now and then. So, my eyes won't exactly be glued to the camera, but I am reading from a script that I prepared by myself just to ensure that I give you all the relevant information. And of course, if I'm a little too fast, or if there's anything that I skipped, if there's anything that you still don't understand, please don't hesitate to drop us a comment in the comment section below, and let's help you out, man. Who knows? You could be the one that's going to be assisting the next person tomorrow. All right, so we're getting right into it. So what is occupational rent? In essence, it's a payment made by a buyer or a tenant to the seller or landlord for the use of a property before the transfer of ownership or the start of a lease agreement. This temporary arrangement allows the buyer or tenant to occupy the property while the legal formalities are being finalized. Are you still with me, Wanakochai? Is it making a lot of sense? Is it making any sense at all? If not, let me know, and then I'll do something about it, just so we can make sure that this information that we're giving you is definitely going to be helpful, is definitely going to be fruitful to you and for your precious time. All right, let's continue. Okay, so let's consider a few scenarios where occupational rent comes into play. So I only dotted down 3 points just to help you understand and just so we can keep the video as short as possible, because we don't want to be taking too much of your time. But of course, like I said, if there's anything you don't understand, just feel free to drop us a comment. Let's talk about it. Let's help you understand, let's make your search to finding your property or your next home a valuable one. All right, so the first one, a buyer wants to move into their new home before the property transfer is complete. That's the first point. All right, the second one, a tenant needs to occupy a commercial space before the lease agreement starts. And then the third one, a property is being sold, but the landlord or the seller needs to stay in the property for a short period after the sale. So in each of these cases, occupational rent ensures that the property owner or landlord is fairly compensated for the use of their property. All right, so moving right along, these are some key points to keep in mind. Occupational rent is usually paid at a market-related rate, similar to a standard rental agreement. The payment amount may vary depending on the property type, location, and duration of occupation. And of course, the third one, occupational rent is a temporary arrangement, typically lasting weeks or months until transfer or lease commencement. All right, so to illustrate this concept, let's look into, consider an example. All right, so let's suppose John, we've got John, hey, John Vuligate. All right, so let's suppose John is buying a house from Sarah, but the transfer process takes a few weeks. Now, John needs to move in immediately. So he agrees to pay Sarah occupational rent at a market rate of 10,000 rand per month. All right, so once the transfer is complete, the occupational rent arrangement ends and John takes ownership of the property. All right, so pretty much what this means is that, for example, you're buying a property today. Of course, you went to www.batsamagaproperty.co.za. You found a property that you like. You call the estate agent. You love the property. You viewed it and you're like, this is definitely the one for me and my family. So what happens now? So this house is probably only going to be available or only going to be registered to you in like 90 days, 3 months or so. These processes are legal processes. They don't always, happen so quickly. But then once it gets underway, it is going to happen eventually. But what happens if you decide that you want to move in? So in short, you decide that you want to move in immediately. But then remember, the property is not yet registered in your name. It's still registered to the previous owner or the current owner because it's still rightfully his or her house. So, of course, the owner would then now charge you occupational rent because before the house belongs to you or before the apartment belongs to you, it still rightfully belongs to them. Are we still together? So obviously you're not yet the owner, but we could be referring to you as a tenant. So that is what exactly occupational rent is. Occupational rent, in short, it's an amount that you will be paying towards the house, but which will not be counting as part of your bond because you are not yet the rightful owner of that house. So then, of course, you won't be allowed to stay there for free, whether you're buying it from a developer, whether you're buying it, through an agent, whether it's a private sale. Whichever way, you cannot stay in the house for free. You cannot stay in that house, without paying for it. But then you are by law required to pay or required by that specific owner or the seller for you to pay a sum of money just to ensure that they do not lose out on any income that they were supposed to be having throughout. And that brings us to the end of our video for today. I hope that wasn't too short. I hope that wasn't too long. And I hope that was definitely worth your time. And of course, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to give us a little nyana like. And of course, if you find these videos to be helpful to you, to be useful to you, then of course, do drop a share. Do share it with some friends. Do share it with a neighbor. Come on, let's spread the love. Let's grow the community. And of course, if there's any way that you feel that we are lacking, if there's any way that you'd like for us to concentrate on, if there's anything that you think that we're not touching on, or if there's anything that you would like us to touch on, any input, anything bafethu, anything banabakohaye, anything batswari, come on, bring it on, and let's see how it can, let's see how we can work it all out. I mean, at the end of the day, this channel is not about Tebogo. This channel is about you, the person who is a tenant, you, the person who is a landlord, you,